Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? It is a beautiful Wednesday, and you're watching Ask the Budgetologist. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I hope everyone is doing well. Oh my gosh. So yesterday was like an epic cleanup day. Now, I kind of told you, if you've been watching me on Saturdays behind the scenes, you 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 kind of know that I have been kind of going MIA a little bit just so that I can start working on processes. And processes are so important to the next phase that I'm about to go into. So that's why I've kind of been on you about your processes and making sure we get everything nice and clean. But last night was one of those epic days, and it's getting better. We're getting closer to what needs to be happening, and I'm so excited about it. It does require a lot of work, though. It does require a lot of work. And I have to start writing again. Ooh, I know. Hey, Heather, how you doing? So let's go ahead and share this out to a couple of folks to get us to come and join us this morning. And for those of you, if I'm popping up in your feed, you have no idea who I am or what you're listening to. I am Phylecia Jones, budgetologist and solopreneur money management expert, and you are watching Ask the Budgetologist. And I come to you every morning and I answer any questions that you have around business, budgeting, and solo entrepreneurship. And of course, I give you tons, tons of unsolicited financial advice. So I got to type right now. I got to type, and we're going to go ahead and invite our friends over at Budget School. Get some other folks to come and join us this morning. And of course, I come to you live here on Facebook.com/Keep Up with Mrs. Jones and Keep Up with Mrs. Jones over on Instagram. Now, I've been excited about this. I told you all about this last week, but my friends over at Podcast Websites, if you are ready to launch your speaking career and get and kind of up level how you start pitching, I highly recommend talking to the folks over at Podcast Websites so that you can start your podcast, get it out there fast so that you can start putting your podcast in the hands of speaker coordinators. And we're going to talk a lot about that next month around how are you going to end the year? So next month is like the next 90 days. And I tell you this all the time. What you do in these 90 days will either pay off to you in the next 90 days. And even if you're not a speaker, even if you're just going after clients, like Heather is a copywriter, having a podcast kind of helps a little bit. So people can hear you, kind of understand what you're doing. Of course, you can go into live streaming, do all the things. Hey, Amy Skillen, how you doing over on Instagram? Do all the things. So I love my friends over at Podcast Websites. All you got to do is go to keepupwithmrsjones.com/podcast websites. And I've been working on my website. All right. Let's talk about a few things. Do I have some PSA announcements? Yes. For all of you who are on my email list from Podcast Week, the invitations for the free class, how to land your next 5 speaking gigs, will be coming to you tonight. I told you to save the date, August 31st. August 31st, 9 a.m. We're going to just go deep into how you can use those skills to pitch and get in front of speaker coordinators better. And it's going to be so good. It's like the best training I've ever done. You're going to get it for free, only if you're on my list. One day only, no replays. Sorry. If you miss it, you snooze, you lose. That's okay. But I assume if you're not going to be at the class, you're out there making money. It's after 9 o'clock, income producing activity. So as long as you're making money, I'm cool with it. If you're not making any money, we got problems. Hey, Amy. All right. We're going to talk about how you handle having no clients is how you handle business. Now, I had a mentor who's always told me this: how you do anything is how you do everything. And this month, we're talking about recessions and recession proofing your business and what happens if there's an economic downturn or you have an emergency. But we got to talk about what happens when you have no clients. Now, here's what happens a lot. When we have no clients, we either go into, we do a serious pity party. I know you do it. We've done it. Like, oh my gosh, I have no clients. I don't want to network at this place anymore because nobody will talk to me. Oh my gosh, my Facebook ads aren't working. My copywriting isn't working. I don't know how to do it. I'm just so overwhelmed. You know how we go. We get into that mode and we can't break it. And so that's why I'm going to talk to you today around How you handle having no clients is going to be so important to how you handle business from that point on, because how we react to things is kind of a cycle that we'll never get out of. So if every time you have no clients and you go into pity party mode, guess what? You're always going to be a pity party person. And that day is when you're out networking and it's just like, oh my gosh, I really can't send any business to you because every time I see you, you're in pity party mode. Not cool, not sexy. People don't want to do business with people in pity parties. Sorry. Pity parties aren't that fun. And here's the other thing that we do when we have no clients. We go on a business investment spending spree. All of a sudden, we go 3 weeks without a client. We panic. All of a sudden, we got to pay $25,000 for a coach. We need every coach that's in the world. We need every book. We need every course. We need every seminar that's out there because we're broken. We feel like we're broken for that moment. And then what happens is that we get into pity party mode. We get into spending spree mode. And we've talked about this before. What happens when you invest in something that you're not ready for? It's based on your emotions. When we get into this little cycle, all of a sudden we get into like, oh my gosh, I suck at copywriting. Now I got to hire Heather. Now Heather is fine if you go hire her. She wants you to be in pity party mode. That's how we all make money. Let's just be straight up honest about that. But today we're talking about you being the CEO of your business and being the CFO of your business. I don't need you to get in pity party mode because that's when you start stressing out. Hey, Erica, how you doing over there? But when we get into this little mode of when we have no clients, and this is why I'm prepping you all this month, we've been talking about how to handle when you don't have any clients, when money's not coming in free flowing like it was before. We're going to talk about if there is a recession, if there is a downturn, what you can do. And what I don't want you to do is to go broke, to get stressed out and be depressed about your business. That's what I don't want you to do. Because you can do this. And I want you to realize that every time this happens, you're going to have to check your emotions, check where you are so that you don't do anything irrational. Because that's what we do. We typically get a little nutty, like, oh my gosh, I didn't get a client for 2 months. I need to go do something. And doing something usually means we get on the phone, we talk to a friend, we get into like, oh, woe is me. Oh, girl, you know what I'm talking about. This business stuff sucks. Oh my gosh, business owners suck. I'm going to go buy something. You see how it goes? Everything sucks. I'm going to go buy something. And Amy is so correct. Amy.Skillen over on Instagram. You guys go follow her. She's pretty darn amazing. We haven't connected in a while, Amy. We should. But she's saying bad energy breeds bad energy. And that is so true. That is so true. All of this is just a cycle. And you're going to have to be very careful. Hey, Beatrice, how you doing? Hey, Cassie. Oh my gosh. Worked with Cassie last week. So much fun. Can't wait to see what you end up doing. Yay. But bad energy does breed bad energy. And when you are in this downturn and you're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't get a client. Now I'm freaking out. Now I'm going to go buy something. Now I'm going to get on the phone with my friends and do pity party. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. One, nobody likes being around people who are desperate. And to be honest, people don't like being around sad business owners. When you are out networking, and we've all been in this situation, where we get next to somebody in a networking event and we say, how's business? Oh my gosh. And we don't really mean, how is it for real? We mean for you to fake it. But, oh my gosh, I can't get a client. This networking thing, nobody wants to talk to me. All the networking groups suck. All the business owners, they suck. It seems like you got to be in a clique to get any business. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is the longest 2-minute conversation of my life. And I don't want to be around you. And we have all been in that situation where either we were that person or someone was like that. And guess what? That energy spreads even if you were in it just for like a week. And if you get into that pity party mode, guess what? Amy is not going to send you business because Amy sat next to you and you were just like, ugh, you were the downer at the party. Amy's probably not going to send business to you because she doesn't know you very well. And all of a sudden, you just you went into sad mode and started hating on everybody. That's what happens when we don't have clients. We get into hate mode. And then we send negative emails to people. We just get so negative. And also when we get into this negative spot, we start looking at ourselves and like, hey, something's not right. I got to go buy something. I got to spend $25,000 for coaching. I got to go buy 5 courses that I'll never be able to finish and I'll never get my return on investment from. I'll just go start spending money. That's not what I want you to do. I don't want you to get into this cycle, because if you do it now, the next time you have no clients, it's going to happen again. Next time you have clients after that, it's going to happen again. And it's going to be an extreme little cycle that you're going to have to learn to break out of. Okay. So here's a few things that I want you to pay attention to if you find yourself with no clients this month, no clients next month. 1, don't get into pity party mode. This is absolutely the right time for you to kind of look at. Amy wants to buy a pair of shoes. You know what? You can go into your personal life and buy shoes. Just don't do it in your business life. Heather is saying, LOL, pity party mode means clouded judgment and unclear direction. Ooh, you guys need to write that down. Pity party mode means clouded judgment and unclear direction. I like that, Heather. I like that. I don't typically take on clients in that headspace. It's a waste of time for both of us. Wrong mindset to be successful. Not directional clarity means poor results. Woo. All right. So Heather just summed up the show. I can log off now. But that is so true. That is so true. You are not clear. You don't have the right judgment. You're getting desperate. I've been there. I have an article on my website. If you go to keepupwithmrsjones.com, there's an article that's called, and Heather, Amy is saying yes. She's giving you the yes. I have an article that was like, the lesson I learned about being desperate. I was in a pity party mode and I got desperate and I wanted money. The worst business decision I have ever had in my entire life. The worst business decision I've ever done. Worst client experience ever. That's what happens when you get into this mode of not really a pity party mode, desperation mode, and when you don't have clients. And it's all triggered by not having clients. So here's what I want you to do. When you get into this mode, 1, like I said, don't get into pity party mode. This is the best time for you to start looking at the systems and processes in your business. Look at everything you're doing. Clear out the space. Look at where you're getting clogged up. If I feel like I'm not doing things properly, this is the right time for you to get into cleanup mode. Yes, it's a weird little space that we get into because, we're like, okay, I don't have clients. I need to go get clients. Yes, you do. That needs to be like on top of the game. But also, this is a time where you need to sit back and figure out, where am I missing things? Like, why isn't my funnel filled with clients? What are the processes that I can work on right now? Where do I see the holes and the gaps? Where do I see the holes and the gaps that I can fill in? Not just getting desperate to go after clients, because here's the thing. If we do hit an economic downturn, if we do hit a recession, you're going to have to be able to get through it without freaking out. Okay. You're going to have to get through it without freaking out, because a recession hits us in the business world and in our personal finances. That may not be the right time for you to go spend $30,000 if you don't have $30,000 to spend. Okay. We got to think about that. Amy's saying, I love cleanup mode. Should be done quarterly. This helps keep you on track. Yes, that's why August, I'm kind of in MIA mode, even August into September, because I need to clear out the space for what I need to do by the end of the year. And Amy is saying, writing your goals in a place you can see them daily. Yes, writing goals. That's the other thing. Sometimes when we hit downturns, no clients, we've kind of lost track of our goals. You ever notice that? Because we get all caught up in all the other things that can happen, all the possibilities. We need to get back to our goals. Okay. So 1, look at your processes, look at your cleanup, look at where you can fill in the gap and figure out what's going on. 2, look at your sales funnel. Seriously, look at your sales funnel. Is it time to clean it up? Not do something drastically new where you got to go pay somebody, you got to go get a course. No, just look at where, like, okay, we need to fix this because for some reason I don't have clients coming in right now. Okay. And if we are not having clients, that means they're probably not desperate enough to need us. Ooh, I know I said that in a very odd way. If we don't have clients, it's time to kind of look Look at our sales funnel. Maybe it's time to maybe tweak some wording, because if we go 2, 3, 4 months without clients, that probably means we have something that people don't want right now. If your business is expendable during a downturn, during a recession, during the holidays, because the holidays are coming up. If your business is expendable by your clients during that time, you probably need to look at your sales funnel. And then number 3, look at what you're selling. Maybe it's time to tweak what you're selling. And I'm being very clear, tweak, not reinvent, just tweak. Because if you already are making money, if you already have clients, you already know that you have something that people want, that people will say want, not necessarily need right now. You already have something people want. Now is time to just go into like tweak mode to figure out what we may need, what we can do just a little bit differently so people can see us in a different light. This is where we go into tweak mode. We don't go into panic mode. We don't go into desperation mode. We don't do that. All right. The next thing I want you to do, 4, I don't know where I am, and I didn't write these down, so I don't remember. Such a great convo, but have to go. I'll send you, reach out to you later. All right. Have a great day, Amy. I'm not writing these down, so I don't remember everything. So I hope you remember. But 4, this is like Amy said, this is a great time to look at your goals and look at where you want to go and start planning for the next 3 months. Start planning for the next 3 months. Look at everything that's going on and ask, like, why don't I have any clients? Typically, when we don't have clients, it's usually something that we have not done or something that we need to work on. Either we know we need to fix our process for, our sales funnel, for getting more people in, for getting out there and networking, for picking up the phone. This is where we have to look at the overall goals, what we've been doing, and what we can do just a little bit better to keep the flow happening. And the last thing I want you to do, look at your numbers. No matter what, look at your numbers. When you don't have clients, and I had to do this for myself, when you don't have a flow of clients, and especially for us coaches and consultants, we get into this mode, we get a client, we're all happy, and then we don't have one, and then we start freaking out. Hey, Christus Web Designs, how you doing on Instagram? We start freaking out. What I want you to do, this is a perfect time. Hey, Whitaker David, how you doing? This is a great time for us to look at the numbers. Your numbers will tell you what you need to be working on. Now, I'm a numbers person. I know everybody isn't, but I want you to look at your numbers. If all of a sudden you've been seeing a decline in clients for 6 months, that's a red flag that something needs to happen. If all of a sudden you had like 5 and they disappear, especially for us coaches, we like to cycle everybody at one time and then we go away. And then we're back in this mode. And you got to be very clear if that's how you want to operate. But look at your numbers. This is not the time to start panicking and saying, oh my gosh, my sales funnel is broken. I got to go buy a $5,000 course in sales funnels. Don't do that. This is the time for you to kind of sit back, take a deep breath, go into CEO mode. Only part of that, only it was 20% of that is CFO mode. This is pure CEO mode where we sit back, we look at everything, start writing down some things that we need to fix, fill in the gaps. This is the right time for you to look at where you might need help. Not instantly like, okay, I don't have a client now, I got to panic, I got to go redo my whole business. No, this is where you look at all of the things, look at your goals, look at your numbers, look at your client list, look at the scope of where you're networking, how you're networking, sit back and fill in the gaps. Like, okay, I want to get in front of this group. I kind of lost my way a little bit. I need to work on that. I need to work on that. This is the time where you start writing down where you need to fill in the gaps. Then take about 15, 30 days to decide if you need help in it. A lot of the times we don't necessarily need help where we need to go spend $15,000, $20,000 on it. Sometimes it's just, all right, I need to get off my butt and I need to make some phone calls. I need to go do the research. I need to reach out to these people. I need to work on my testimonials. We know what we need to do. It's just when we get into this mode of not having clients, we hit a downturn, we just get panicky. panic. And like Heather was saying, when you get into this panic mode, we either get into pity party mode, and then all of a sudden nobody wants to be around us. But we get into this mode where we start reaching. We see something on the internet and all of a sudden, oh, that's my problem, I need to buy that. Oh, that's my problem, I need to buy that. We go to somebody's seminar, that's my problem, I need to buy that. That's what I don't need you to do. I need you to step into your CEO shoes and identify for real what the problems. Stop letting other people tell you what your problems are. Stop letting people tell you what your problems are. I know I'm telling you your problem is that you're doing this, but I'm telling you to stop doing that, okay? Stop letting people identify your problems. You identify your problems. And I know you're going to say, well, we don't know what we don't know. No, you don't know. But if you get into CEO mode, you look at the big picture, you can always identify at least 3 gaps where you need help with. 3 gaps. And you'll be surprised when you identify what you think you need help with, and then all of a sudden you go work with somebody, it'll be like, okay, this is not the real problem. This is what I need to do. Okay? That's where I need you to really be in your CEO mode and start look as far as you can. And if you can't see as far as you can, we all have business friends. Every last one of us have business friends. You can pay somebody $100 for, a friend or someone you trust. Like, hey, for $100, can I work with you for an hour just to help me brainstorm and see what I don't see? That's not big time investing. I mean, that's just paying for somebody's time. Buy somebody dinner and like, hey, and be very clear, not pick your brain. Like, I just want you to kind of look and see what I don't see. And maybe I'm trying to fill in the gaps. Okay. There are a lot of people that will do that and not try to reinvent your business. Not that you got to get into a long-term coaching program, but when you do something like that, now you can sit back and like, all right, here's a huge gap. Here's where I need help. Okay. I mean, we all need help, but I need you to kind of identify where the help is, what the help you need first, versus getting into stress mode, desperation mode, pity party mode. Because I just don't want you to go broke. I don't want you to go broke. I just need you to just be a little bit smarter, because like I said, how you handle this, because not having clients, it's going to happen again. Recessions will always happen. Every couple of years, they will happen. You will always have slumps. You will always have times where people just don't buy, the summer, the holidays, whatever. But I want you to realize that how you handle that will be how you handle it every time it pops up in your business. If you go into pity party mode, that's how you'll always be, and you'll miss out on business. If you go into desperation mode, it will hurt you 10 times more than anything else trying to go after money. If you get into spending spree mode, this is what you'll do all of a sudden. And then you'll just keep getting off track. Every time you do these things, you will always get off track and get led down another rabbit hole that you really didn't mean to go down. But because you acted emotionally, this is where you are right now. And I know it's hard for us to take the emotions out of business, but I want you for just a moment to step into your CEO shoes, look at the numbers, look at the goals, look at what's going on, look at the big picture, look at where you're spending your energy, look at everything, and then take a few breaths. Then we start making decisions, not instant reaction mode. Because if we're always in reaction mode, like, oh my gosh, I didn't have a client, boom, $20,000, I need to pay for this. Oh, I didn't have a client, $600, I need to buy this course. Every time we do that, we go down holes that we didn't mean to go down. We spend money we didn't mean to spend, and we get further and further away from our original goal. That is not the plan. This is where we just take a deep breath and kind of like, okay, I had to do it at the beginning of the year. And literally I sat here and like, all right, something's not right. I was like, first with me, I'm a numbers person. Let's look at the numbers. I always say your numbers will tell you what's going on. I looked at the numbers and we made a decision that there were some parts of my business that needed to go away. Like fail, absolute fail. And you got to be okay with that. And you got to be okay. You got to be okay to take this time to look at some self-reflection of the business. Because usually we've tied our business to our personal selves. That's why this is so hard. This is why we get desperate. I don't want you to be that way, okay? I don't want you to be that way, because when you get desperate, you get irrational. Yeah, we don't need to be irrational. If there's an economic downturn, there's a recession, irrational is not where we need to be, okay? I need to drink some tea right now. Any questions? Any questions anyone has? Thank you for letting me drink my tea. Hey, Ann, how you doing? And thank you, Dave Whitaker David. Thank you so very much. So on Wednesdays on this show, it's all about mindset. This is just a mindset piece that I just wanted to drop into you to have you think. My goal, I want you to work with me. Of course, I want you to give me money, but my goal really is to make sure that you are in the right mindset as a CEO and you have the right tools as a CFO to really manage your business. Because this can be a long game and it's a long journey, but I really want you to be able to step out and just be a little bit smarter, think a little bit longer, and think not 3 steps ahead, but 10 steps ahead. This is where, and I had a friend, we talked about the critical thinking of business owners. This is where we have to step into being critical thinkers, not reaction thinkers, not reaction mode, not just, oh my gosh, not flinching mode. We need to be able to get to a point where we go into a room like, okay, all right, let's kind of look at this like, all right, and admitting that things either work or things don't work and moving on and doing what we need to do to get to the next step. Heather's saying it takes a second to snap out of it, but it gets easier to recognize and reframe mindsets the more you do it. Now we use quiet times to uplevel our business and dig deeper without the added pressure looming of projects. Yes, this is so key. And I think, Heather, you might be like me. You've gone through this a few times and it's like, you kind of know that it doesn't help. It doesn't help when you're just like, oh. And Ann, thank you. Ann says, I make you think. Yes, I need to be around people who think, and I want you to think. Thinking is fundamental. It's not reading is fundamental anymore. It's like thinking is fundamental. That needs to be a shirt. I need to write that down. Thinking is fundamental. Yeah. We need to start thinking just a little bit more, especially if, and all of this, like I said, all of this month is around recessions. I'm hearing tales of a recession. And this is where we got to really start thinking 10 steps ahead. And I don't want you to react if a recession does come. I don't want you to react. I just want you to be able to think through it and like, all right, buckle down. Like, all right, this is what we need to do. Because we all hit these times. We all hit months where we don't have clients, or we all hit places where, there's a downturn. And this is where our ability to think and be critical thinkers will help us through it. Not react, not flip out, not stress out, not get into pity party mode, not get into woe is me, everybody sucks. It's just time for us to really start thinking, okay? Hey, Kat, she's a good morning, big picture thinking and not overreacting. So important. Yes, overreacting doesn't do much. Overreacting gets you in Vegas, and that can go very bad when you're not thinking. And Heather's saying, absolutely, I've been through this so often that I can feel it coming now. You know what? I can feel it coming too. And this is the thing. If you're new, you may not know what this is, but if you've been in business, you can feel it coming. And this is where you need to go in dark mode and just really start thinking. All right, folks, it's time for me to log off here. Tomorrow. What are we talking about? What to do when business slows down. So we talked about this a little bit, but we're going to talk about the feeding the budget side. Here's what you can do when business slows down. So we're going to get into some step-by-step mode of how to keep some business going when it does slow down, because it kind of sucks. So I hope you're around tomorrow morning. Today was just for you to think, get into the mindset. Now tomorrow it's like, all right, let's go do something. Hey, Catherine Harris, how are you doing this morning? So for those of you here on Instagram, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Take care. Happy budgeting. For all of you here who are still on Facebook, oh my gosh, I appreciate every last one of you. Catherine, Heather, Kat, and David Whitaker. He has a both ways name. Beatrice, Erica, Cassie, thank you so very much for being here. For those of you listening to the podcast, I appreciate you. If you're going to watch the replay, thank you so very much. And if you don't know that this is a podcast, you can find Ask the Budgetologist on all the podcast players out there. I think I'm everywhere except for Stitcher. I still haven't figured that one out yet. And I just don't want to read right now. So if you want to take me with you when you're out for your morning walk, I would appreciate it. Let's go for a walk together. Thank you so very much. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Take care. Happy budgeting. Bye.